Remember, constructors are not inherited. Constructors only exist on the types they're declared in. Therefore, when we have a constructor that requires parameters and there is no parameterless constructor, we are forced to, during construction, invoke the base constructor of the type.
Conceptually, it's very much like doing the first thing you do in the employees constructor being a call to the constructor of the, like any other method call.
Yeah,
you've got colon base and then the parameters that are required by the base, which is the parameters that are required by the constructor, being the two strings. I'm not saying that real. The person's constructor doesn't care about the yearly income.
Right. And we could have just as easily not taken these in as parameters for the employee, and we could have just passed in constants. We could have just done this if we wanted to. Still works. But we want to thread in the values. So that's what we're doing here. Because I don't understand why you have to have the parameters in the employee constructor. Because this constructor does not exist. It only exists in the context of person. So we have to create a constructor, or we don't have to, but we are creating a constructor that's going to delegate part of its construction process back to the base class.
It's almost as if it's sort of subcontracting it.
Yeah. We're invoking some base functionality here. So then when we do this, when we instantiate a new employee, we invoke the employee constructor. And then the employee constructor turns around, takes these strings that we passed in for first name and last name, and hands them off to the person constructor. So if we actually step into the debugger here, if I hit F11, you'll notice we jump first into this line right here, line 39. But then if I hit F11 one more time, we jump all the way up to the person constructor. And then after that, we finish the employee constructor. So for example, if I went ahead and added some console write lines and said console write line in person CTOR, and then up here on employee, I said console write line in employee CTOR, and ran this, you'll notice that it says, well, hold on, let me get rid of this instantiation real fast so that doesn't collide. You'll notice that we get in person CTOR and then in employee CTOR.